Hello, teacher and friends. Welcome to my presentation on Intel Teach Essentials course 2016. My name is Ngoc, and the lecturer of this course is Mr. Nguyen. Today, I'm going to present three main points in my portfolio. First of all is the unit portfolios. The second one is unit plan. And the last one will be the assessment plan. Before we go to the main part, the book I'll be teaching is Oxford Solutions 2nd edition, Intermediate Students book. And my unit will be Unit 2, Looking Back. Now let's start by looking at Part 1, Unit Portfolios. Basically, it consists of 5 folders. In assessment, I have 8 different methods of assessing my students' performance, including collaboration self-assessment, conference questions, goal-setting prompt, group observation checklist, KWL chart, paragraph rubric, presentation rubric, and reflective journals. In student sample, I have created 2 samples for my students to refer to. The first one is the PowerPoint for the topic, one of the anniversaries in your country, and a reflective writing for them to take a look at what they have learned through the unit. In student support, I provide them 3 materials. The first one is the PowerPoint guiding to write a paragraph. The second one is the textbook they use in class. And the last one is to help them plan their presentation. In teacher support, there are 2 folders. The first one consists of all the audio files for the listening test, and the other one is the teacher's book. In the last folder, there is a unit plan describing a specific procedure of teaching the unit. That's all I'd like to introduce about the unit portfolio. Moving to the next part, I'd like to talk about the unit plan. First, the unit title is Looking Back. I'd like to summarize the unit. It includes the following parts: vocabulary, grammar, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The topics mainly surround memory and experience. Through the main parts, students can improve their grammar in terms of past tenses and learn how to use a variety of lexical items to describe their feelings. With a wide range of activities in the unit, students can not only boost their English confidence but gain more knowledge about culture and history. The presentation project and the reflection writing help my students to answer the unit questions and to set further learning goals. After all activities and projects, each student will have their own opinion on the essential question: how can we encourage personal development? The subject area is English, and my student will be in grade 10. The approximate time needed is 3 weeks, for 3 days per week and 50 minutes per day. About the targeted content standards and benchmarks, I'd like to use the CEFR level B2, and besides that, I also want my students to achieve some of the 21st century skills, such as communication skills, interpersonal and collaborative skills. After the unit, I want my students to achieve this objective. They will be able to use a wide range of adjectives to describe feelings, describe a memorable experience using the past tense, express their understanding of the significance of important dates, understand a magazine article about people with memory loss, describe and react to a story, and write a narrative paragraph. About the curriculum framing questions, it has 1 essential question that connects to the other unit in the book. How can we encourage personal development? There are 2 unit questions. What is the meaning of the past and how have you improved your learning? And the last 3 questions will be focused on specific content, such as what are important anniversaries in your country? What is amnesia? What are the symptoms? How do you write a paragraph? In the 3-week time, my students will have a lot of activities to do. In week number 1, I will introduce the unit and teach them vocabulary, listening, and grammar. In week number 2, my students will continue to learn listening, speaking, and writing. In the last week, I will finish the unit by teaching reading. Then we move to the presentation day, and my students will have to submit their reflection writing as well. Before the presentation day, in week number 2, I will arrange a conference after class to answer questions, monitor their progress, and provide additional help. I will inform my students that they have 1 more week to finish their presentation and their reflection writing. Besides, I will suggest some resources from which they can refer to, such as student support and student sample. Now, I'll move on to the last part of this video, the assessment plan. This is a brief summary showing how students are assessed throughout the unit. The assessment process can be fallen into 3 periods. At the beginning of the unit, I will show my students the KWL chart to judge their background knowledge on the topic of memory and experience. Here is the form. On the first day of the unit, after I introduce the project, I will provide my students the goal-setting prompt to help them set goals, develop their plan and timelines for completing the projects. Besides, I will give them paragraph writing rubric and presentation rubric to help them monitor their work on reflection writing and oral presentation. When my students work on the project or presentation, they will use group observation checklists to assess other groups' performance. And after the presentation, I will provide them collaboration self-assessment to help them assess their own collaboration skills. During and after the project, I will use the conference questions to check their current understanding and to ask them to share their achievements with the class. Finally, my students will be asked to complete a reflective journal in which they will identify their strengths and weaknesses while working on the project. Here is the assessment timeline. By looking at it, I will know when to give my students the appropriate assessment. And that also brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you for your watching.